a glass of red, or even two. That's the way I start my day.
Hey bro, you mind putting on some pants? I find it a little weird I have to ask twice.
Hello my followers to the world of sommelier. This is your guide, Corebreaker. Tonight, back in Bordeaux, a rematch between left bank and right bank. This time, on the left bank, Saint Julien, and on the right bank, Pomerol. Between these two I can find some similarities, because both are relatively small appellations. Saint Julien is the smallest of four meadow appellations with only 910 hectares, and Pomerol is almost 7 times smaller than his big brother Saint-Emilion with 800 hectares. While Saint Julien has the biggest percentage of classified vines, which is around 95%, and have super second chateau, which according to many experts should be rated as premier Grand Cru, such as Domaine Roses, Leoville Bâton, Leoville Lescas, and Leoville Poyferre. And also let's not forget about not classified but high quality Chateau Gloria and others. Meanwhile, Pomerol is the only major not classified appellation, but together has few of the most expensive and collectible wines in the whole world, such as Chateau Petreux, La Panne and La Fleur. When we talk about the history, well, here Saint Julien crushes Pomerol.
I must break you.
Because it got its fame in the 17th century when it became a major Bordeaux wine producing appellation. While in the same period of time, Pomerol farmers finally realized that growing wheat and other cultures is not the best idea because the soil was too poor, and they switched to the grape growing. And up until 18th century, they were mostly producing white wine. So additionally, it took some time until they became the region famous for Merlot-based wines. Talking about the soils, both appellations show what we would expect from them.
Hey, I'm not surprised.
Saint Julien has lots of gravel, sand, limestone and clay with some pebble stones by the river, which makes perfect drainage through the wet days and is perfect for Cabernet Sauvignon, together with Merlot and other Bordeaux classical grapes. While Pomerol soil is full of different and rich clay mixed with limestone, and at the top of the plateau, Bepetrukums is even a royal blue clay which is more than 40 million years old, super dense and is literally blue colored. But in some places of the appellation there is more sand and gravel, which makes lighter and less tannic wines. And lastly, the price. And here let's reach for the top shelves. So according to the winesearcher.com, Saint Julien winery, which wines has the highest average price, is Chateau Leoville Lescas. And the price starts at shy 223 euro. And in Pomerol, no surprise, it is Petrus, which does not go cheaper than 3000 euro. So let's see what I have for you today. On the left bank, I have Chateau Moulin Riche 2015, and on the right bank, Domaine Roses Camille 2012. Both have interesting backgrounds and are definitely not the standard and typical wine making facilities. So starting with Moulin Riche, it was discovered in 1885 by Arnaud Lalonde, who was also the owner of the Chateau Leoville Poyferre. But only in 1980s, estate started to grow some muscle by restructuring vineyards to better express its identity. For the long time being second wine, in 2009 it was ready to go on his own and became independent Grand Vin. And just to express its independency, from vintage 2018 they changed their label, which kind of reminds me of a teenage rebellion.
Just because you dress like us doesn't mean that you can be like one of us.
The 20-hectare vineyard is a mix of cool black soil, where is planted 29% of Merlot, and gravelly soil with 40% Cabernet Sauvignon, and surprisingly high proportion of Petit Verdot, which is 23%. And Domaine Roses Camille estate originally belonged to the Riviere family, and after their relative was imprisoned during the Second World War, they offered the man's wife and their 15-year-old son to help maintain the estate for the room and board. After Rivet family passed away, they left the estate to that son, who put lots of love and work improving the property, and his name was Robert Casamajou, the grandfather of the present owner Christophe Baudot. Now he owns 7.5 hectare vineyards from different parts of Pomerol and Saint Julien. The Domaine Roses Camille is the newest 1 hectare, 95% Merlot and 5% Cabernet Franc estate, established in 2005, named after his newly born niece and his grandmother's favorite flower. The interesting story begins when, during the growing season of 2005, Christophe met Nicolas Ranson, who was working as a mashgiach.
We don't come to spray holy water on it. We come to ensure that the kosher level is in accordance with the Torah, which is what we follow.
At the chateau nearby, and they decided to make together a fully kosher wine. In 2005, they made only 900 bottles, and 2006, 3,000 bottles. The price was not cheap, with $380 for a bottle of 2005 and $250 for 2006. And the time could not be worse because of the 2008 financial crisis. So from 2007 till 2010, Christophe was making non-kosher wine just to get some cash flow. But after 2005, vintage wines got pretty high results from decanter and wine searcher. And with that publicity and demand, they were feeling ready to get back to the kosher wine making. And now they are one of the few French high-quality kosher winemakers. Let's taste these wines.
Aye, Captain.
So Moulin Riche has an intense cherry color, medium plus intensity aromas of black currant, dried cranberries, raspberries, black chocolate, and hint of barnyard. In the mouth, medium plus acidity, medium plus tannins, medium plus alcohol. On the palate, dark berry jam. And Roses Camille has intense but garnet color. On the nose, sweeter and more riper aromas of prunes, violets, cigar box, raw beef, and vanilla. Mouth is also much thicker with medium plus ripe tannins, medium plus alcohol, and medium acidity. On the palate, chocolate and prunes dessert. For the conclusions, these wines are completely different, where Moulin Riche is clearly capable for much longer aging, but is pleasant right now. And Rosés, for me, goes more on the ready to drink now category. Let me know in the comments what you usually choose, Pomerol or Saint Julien. Like, subscribe and follow.